Holy macaroni. Welcome to Baldy and the Big Guy. I'm Greg.
I'm the big guy.
His name's Peter.
I am Peter, and I'm also... I like our lighting in this. It's a little bit darker on top. It's nice.
It's a little more...
We fixed it a little bit, made a little bit more... The ambiance a little better.
Ambiance. We were
always getting better.
Part of this, the whole episode that we're going to do today is talking about video production.
Yeah, talking about setting stuff up.
Something a little bit different than like just what we've normally talked about.
Yeah, our normal stuff
is
just like bullshit, just talking about whatever's happening today. Today we're talking about like how to do this.
How to do this, right? And this is ever changing. First and foremost, go out and like and subscribe out to Baldy and the Big Guy. Follow us out on Instagram. And of course, leave us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. We would appreciate it. Spotify, iTunes. You can get all the audios.
Is that the one you said?
Podbean, where
if there's any fucking weirdos out there listening on Podbean, go ahead and like us or fucking leave us a comment or whatever the fuck you can do.
Do you actually listen to fucking
I don't know who the fuck listens to pod. Like, who actually goes and it was like
some weirdo left me and Beth a goddamn review about 3 years ago. It was like, these drunk motherfuckers. And I was like, yep.
It's called The Bar is Open.
And the bar and Baldy and the Big Guy.
Yeah.
What do you?
Well, I mean that podcast. So they left. So
the Baldy and the Big Guy didn't exist at that point. So.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah. So if you're the weirdo, the one weirdo who downloaded Podbean instead of iTunes or Google Podcasts or
she was
Spotify or any other fucking weird podcast.
When we got that review, it was before Karens even were Karening.
Yeah.
Like I don't think Karens were a thing at that point.
Karens weren't even Karens yet.
So Beth and I have been doing podcasting for about 5 years, a little over 5 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, you guys have been on since COVID.
So we've been doing it for a long time. And you joined me on the podcast world about 2 years, a year and a half ago. 2 years ago? No, with Castro Files.
Oh, well, 2 years ago as a producer
for Castro Files.
Yeah.
Right, just getting into things, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Which is fun, press record, press and stop, adding pictures, doing.
But you don't know what you don't know
stuff, yeah,
right? Producer stuff,
yeah.
So that's what we're going to talk to you guys about today is producer stuff,
producing in general, like not just producing a podcast, but just producing content in general, like. And neither one of us are like experts in the field, but
we've got experience.
We both have experience, and we've been open doing it for a minute.
I need to grab something, and I'm going to have my wife bring something up here in just a second. A new camera. This is what made me think of this whole thing.
Yeah, why not?
Is I went and exchanged a few old cameras, and we're upgrading the current camera that you're watching us on.
That one.
From an A64, a Sony A6400 is what we're running now. And we're going to upgrade it to a Sony FX30.
Which is going from an older Alpha series, which is a great Sony camera.
It's an amazing, I've got two other ones.
And that was my first camera I ever bought for production. It's a great Sony camera, but
100%.
We're going to a Sony Cinema camera, which is different level, next level, great, better, higher. I don't know if we're supposed to talk about like the difference in cameras, but
we can get into that.
It's a good camera.
Second, I'll be right back. You keep talking.
Yeah, anyway, so both of us have done a little bit of production stuff. He's done a lot of podcasts. Like he's been doing podcasts for 5 years. I've been doing podcasts for a couple of years, but I've been doing production stuff on the side and as my main job for what, 3 years now?
4 years now, I
almost
think.
4 years now. So I do, besides my cooking show, I do it myself. I film I don't want to say I film commercials for Black Rifle, but I'm part of the team who films stuff for Black Rifle. I produce and edit and shoot Black Rifle or Jacked History. Yeah. I do stuff for my boss all the time, on the other guys who are there all the time. So I have some knowledge.
We've got a little bit of experience in both sides.
Some experience and knowledge of a production. Look at that floating in the sea without
camera. We're gonna get into this.
Yes, it was. I think it was.
What?
I paid more for mine.
What'd she say?
What's a good deal?
Yeah, I hope it was a good deal.
I think I bought mine at that from that store, and I bought it new and not used. So I paid like $2,000 for mine. So
we're gonna talk about what like entry level. Let's get into entry level. Just talking about okay. So when I started doing podcasting, it was something that I was just like, I just want to like, we were literally FaceTime living kind of stuff, right? Phone on a stand. I had one of those pop sockets, and I made out of some rulers and I stapled them together and I put it, so I had a pop socket.
Pop like a stand.
Like, you know what I mean? I basically, in my garage, I built a little stand.
Well, I mean, you put your desk together, you can put your pop socket stand
I built
together.
all of this shit. The entire set is built by me.
Yeah.
It's collections over times. I've had people like, this is, of course, I had a friend build or make for me. Shelves, that's a pallet. This is a pallet that I made. I cut up, made some shelves.
I mean, everything works,
Right.
though.
Everything is,
it also makes it also better because you built it yourself.
Right. Right. Everything in here,
Amazon,
like the corner shelves, I had a buddy make for a couple bucks. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
That's awesome.
So things, you can absolutely do all of this over time. And that's kind of one of my notes is do not try and build all of the shit that you see here. Or like I've got TVs and I've got multiple monitors. I've got multiple sets around our house.
Yeah.
The desk over there, the Castro file set. That's a pallet.
Yeah, I remember this.
That I just cut up.
But that's the thing. Also, like you build your set to what you can afford to do to make your product, and whether you're using phones and flashlights or
it works
or no fucking lighting whatsoever, and you're using
overhead lights.
Do something, and that's the most important thing. As long as you're making something. Making content is the first important part. Making content and putting yourself out there to make yourself feel comfortable.
I would agree with that 100%.
Because as soon as you feel uncomfortable, the more you do it, the less uncomfortable you'll. Yeah, exactly. The more you do it, the more comfortable you'll feel.
Yeah.
You don't care about the fucking stupid comments. You don't care about no comments. You don't care about no likes and no watches. You just do it because you want to do it.
That's an important. That's a huge piece.
Then you start thinking about like, okay, now how can I make this better? So you start with a phone, and the phones are great. Like phones are. I mean,
I started the podcast.
4K fucking 120.
That's like literally my first thing. Start with your phone. If you've got an iPhone or an Android, your camera can do everything.
This camera is perfect. There's no reason to upgrade even.
I didn't know this. I saw this today. We went to Camera Exchange, this place in San Antonio, called the Camera Exchange. And they make you plug it into the bottom, and they make directional mics, meaning I'm shooting this way and I'm shooting you over there. And it literally, you can
it swivels and you can make
angle it to the person you're talking. I didn't even know that it was a thing.
Yeah, they have all kinds of audio stuff. But again, for starting off, use a cell phone and you don't need any extra mics and everything else. What I did when I first started, so when Beth and I first started, I was like, all right, I went out and I bought. It was like, granted, it was like $1,200. And I was like, I'm going to put a little bit of investment in this. Before I did cameras or anything else like that, I was like, I bought a Rodecaster 1, and it was a package. So it came with some arms and some Rodecaster mics. Like they're great mics. Yeah.
They sound amazing. They're not these mics. I have them in the other room. And it came with a Rodecaster. But what I could do is I plugged my phone into the Rodecaster. Boom, ran through that and ran it through my old ass. No, I went live stream straight to fucking to YouTube.
Even better.
Straight off.
Yeah.
Like I just hit.
So you hit live stream on your phone,
record,
basically.
And then it was just I'd run around the table and be like, all right, we're good, guys. Let's go.
So you were going live straight from your phone.
From my phone.
Live on YouTube or Facebook or whatever.
I would literally be click, go, let's go.
So shit going through your ATEM or through your Rode.
But I didn't even have an ATEM back then.
But I mean, going through your equipment over here, you were going live straight to YouTube or Facebook or whatever it was back then.
They make a Rodecaster mini version. And I've got a couple of the Rodecaster 2s now, and I've got a Rodecaster 1.
Well, you've been doing it for a while.
I've been doing it for 5 years.
So it's a little bit different, yeah.
So, but you don't need all that. If you want to do something with like big mics and shit like that, you need something. If you're going to do XLRs.
Yeah, if you want this like set up like this, like real professional looking, like with the mics and move up, yes, you need a little bit more stuff. But you can do it without, is my point.
You can do it.
You can do it just talking to your phone. Or you can put little microphones on your phone.
Lav mics. Those lav mics.
Like Rode or
saw
BBG
those today.
or Holland.
You gave me
they all make those.
I bought a couple off you.
Yeah, and you can put them right here. Put them right to your phone.
and they connect directly
and
to
then
your
just
phone.
upload it later. It's easy.
So keep these things in mind. That's basically what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
So start with your phone before you go. I've had 10 people over the past couple of years reach out to me and say, what do I need to do this?
Yeah.
And I go through the technical, and we'll continue getting into the technical conversation here in a few minutes. But the first thing I tell them is have a good idea. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like Beth and I on the Bar is Open, we have stories. We're topical conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Like we talk about the news.
Yeah, you Google about what's new this
goofy
week
news,
and then talk about that
right?
shit.
Weird alternative news, not the normal. You and I talk about different things. We'll talk, sometimes you and I will talk on the Baldy and the Big Guy show. We'll talk about like sometimes it's like your trip to Europe. Or
we'll talk about news to us.
Like the last time we talked about like fucking aliens or what, we'll just randomly
whatever random shit. But here's the thing. This show for us is not about anything other than just like having fun and like making a cool fucking show.
Right.
With the two of you that are watching it, my mom, thank you.
Yeah.
And like my dad, which is next to her on the couch.
Again?
Linda.
She hot.
She's my mom.
She hot.
So my mom and my dad who are sitting on the couch watching the show, our two watchers of the show on YouTube. Thank you.
I'm gonna say
so like
Peter's mom's hot.
We make this video
Linda.
for them. There you go. You're welcome, Mom. And so we make this show for fun, not for any other reason except for just like be comfortable on camera.
Like it's me and you blowing off steam on a fucking Saturday afternoon.
And just we're relaxing on the
Saturday. I'm literally sweating because I don't think my wife turned on the fucking.
I think she turned it on like 3 times.
I think she turned it up. I think either that or we live in hell.
She's fucking with us.
We're in fucking San Antonio and it will not cool down.
Yeah, it's the beginning of April, so it's definitely hot already. So it's definitely summer.
Right. No, but I agree 100%. Like, have a point of your podcast or your video. So the different thing, the other side of what I want to talk about with technology and what we're talking about, not just podcasting, because with every single camera and all of this equipment, we can make crazy videos. We can
quality wise, we can make
produce
whatever we want.
some insane shit.
Yes.
Like you get a decent, you don't even have to have like a fucking super expensive laptop. A decent laptop, except for mine. Mine died and it's in
a decent laptop for editing.
Mine is in Dell hell right now.
Yeah, Dell.
My other one, not
which
this
is where
one.
Dells live.
Yeah, which is I think made a big mistake.
Did I tell you that?
God damn it.
Did I tell you that when you bought it?
Yes.
I did, didn't I?
I bought the most.
What did I tell you to buy?
Motherfucker, you said to buy a Mac, and I was like, I suck at Macs.
And then you bought a Dell, and what happened? How many times did it die at this point?
Twice. And now they're telling me
for like 6 months.
I have to pay. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to do that. But you can do that with, like I said, simple technology, simple. You don't have to have a super fast computer.
Yeah.
You need something you can process.
No, just a good computer.
Right.
You specifically want, if you're looking at like editing video, you want high RAM and you want like a good processor. Like if you're looking at a Mac M1, M2, or whatever the newest thing is, definitely those newer processors are even better.
But what can they get? What can people? So when you're doing, so like we had talked about, he produces the Jacked History Show.
Yeah.
Right. What computer are you guys running on?
For me, what I edit on is a M2 Pro or whatever the fuck Apple laptop.
It's a Mac.
It's an M2 Mac chip processor, and then it has like 64 gigs of RAM. Harder doesn't matter. It's terabyte, but I use
It's the processing speed.
Yeah, processing speed is important.
Yeah.
So specifically, what's important is the chip or the processor, the chip, the M2 chip, and then the RAM.
What's the cost?
And then of course you have like the sound card, the fucking what do you call it? The monitor, the color card, whatever you call it, the processing, other stuff. That's not that. I can't think what you call it. It's like the memory card, or not memory. It's the
God damn it, get it together, buddy.
It's the you have a sound card and you have a video card.
Video card. Okay, yeah.
So you want those to be a little bit better as well.
Yeah.
But those are more for like streaming.
But if we're just streaming
games,
like just like a baseline.
That's not so important for editing specifically. You want it something good, but you don't need something like bananas, and that's for streaming video games.
Okay,
but if you're just editing,
yeah,
but if you're just editing,
that's another thing.
Good, but you don't need something crazy.
Because every single thing that we do here, you could do a what are all the kids do?
Twitch
stream,
Kick, whatever. Yeah.
Like you could take that camera that I'm looking at right now, put it on a little thing right over here.
I know people who use this exact camera
for a Twitch stream.
Yep.
Yeah, Twitch stream A6400 is what I'm looking at right now. It's when we live stream off of it, and I go to the bars open. That's predominantly what we do. Live stream is the bars open. Beth and Greg. It's gonna push out 1080p.
Yep.
And that's a limitation.
And that's a limitation based on the back
YouTube
end.
And the
YouTube can push it out 4K, but based on the back end equipment, like an A10, like Blackmagic's A10 Pro, they only push out 1080 on a through the live version of that.
Right.
But if you download to your computer, you download to 4K as long as
that's something we just researched today.
Or your camera is shooting 4K, then you can record in 4K and then you can push it to YouTube
but you can
4K.
Upload.
But for this, we can shoot 4K, upload to 4K because we're not shooting live.
Right. So there's differences with that.
Yeah, there is.
But
differences.
if you're live streaming, you're going to pretty much push out 1080p.
Yeah, 100%. And that's so the bar's open. That's live every week.
1080p.
That goes out 1080p.
And it looks good.
Can't change it.
But the difference between this camera and the next camera, which is right here, which I just picked up, and I actually traded in
How many cameras did you trade in for that one camera?
I traded in 3 cameras.
There you go.
But it still wasn't cheap.
No, of course not.
But I've been doing this for a long time.
You've been doing it for a while, and you know what you want.
And like Beth and I, we've done we're over 1,000 episodes.
You've done
combined.
5 episodes.
Well, like between
5 years, and then how many episodes do we do?
We do a couple. That's at 500, or that's at almost 500, coming up on 500.
And then us, and almost then 2 years.
We've done another 100 between our 70, and then Castro Files, and then everything else.
Greg and everything else. You probably
there's a lot of
well
podcasts.
over 1,000 podcasts.
So this is going to be the new main camera. And what is this camera?
That's the Sony FX30.
Sony FX30.
So I started explaining earlier. The Alpha series is a very good series of cameras. You have the A6400.
It's significantly bigger
700
than the A6400.
Yes. The 6400 shoots 4K, but there's differences. There's a lot of differences.
Okay, let's talk about
quickly what the differences are. Like not going into like detail of like
talk about just like what's the difference? Because an A6400, if you're gonna do this, I've had 3 A6400s. I still have one in another room over here. In our other set, I've got this one that we're recording on, and I just traded in the other one
for that one.
Yeah, for this. But they're amazing cameras.
They're great cameras.
Again, it's a $900 camera with a body and the intro lens, basically is what I would call it, like the first lens. What's the difference with this one?
Biggest difference in that, so there's several, like I said, there's lots of differences specifically. One of them, that's an alpha camera, and that's a cinema camera, meaning their specifications and their like stuff about it is made to like make content. It's made to like make something.
This is made to make movies, or video.
So the biggest thing is the biggest similarities is they're both crop sensors, right? Which means a full frame camera like an FX3 or a A7S III or a plethora of other cameras are full sensor. It means the sensor is bigger, which means it can take in more light. It's a bigger, if you have a 35 millimeter lens, it actually is a 35 millimeter versus it crops in or out separately. So this is a crop sensor, which means it's the same as that, which means it's a smaller lens, which means the aperture doesn't open up quite as much, which means less quality, low light conditions. So if you take it outside at night, it's not going to shoot as good as
like if you're trying to get the
sun or the stars, or even just like if I want to shoot you at night without.
But if I want to shoot right here.
Yeah, right here with these lights in the studio, it's perfect. This is it's perfect spot for it to be. So the difference of this and that one though, the 6400 is this one has a little bit bigger of a sensor, even though they're both technically crop sensor or APS-C is what they're called. This one's still a little bit bigger, so it means it's better still than the A6400.
Right.
Other differences are this one can shoot 4K 120, which for what we're shooting in right now, like for this podcast, we're never gonna shoot, or even for your podcast,
120 frames per
shoot,
second.
You're never gonna shoot,
which is, I mean, that's where you're shooting ultra slow motion.
That's very slow motion. You're never gonna shoot.
But I really want to do that. Like, I want to start shooting people out in my backyard.
I almost want to shoot people in the backyard, not specifically.
Did I say motion. People? Shoot things in my backyard.
People.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Can we get some volunteers?
Yeah. If you want to get shot by Greg or myself.
Slow motion though. For video content.
It would look really cool on camera.
Yeah, like boo.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not crazy, but it still looks very cool. So this shoots 4K 120. That one doesn't. This shoots like I forget the bitrate difference, but this one has a higher bitrate, which basically means it reads. Gets into numbers of like the binary shit, but like it gets into like higher
the gay people
content or higher. It reads faster at a faster level, which makes the quality of the video itself better. You know,
okay.
Does that make sense?
It processes faster.
Yes.
Basically.
Does that make sense?
I'm all about process.
It processes faster the numbers. Like
the higher the bit rate, the faster the process.
Yes. So
simple.
That's really good. And then of course the next step above that would be just be like different lenses and better lenses.
So with this one, we will not be using this lens. We will be using the lens that's actually on the camera over here,
which are basically
they are compatible.
They're compatible, but they're basically the same lenses. They're both just like stock lenses.
But this lens here is more of a zoomed in lens. It's too zoomed in for the podcasting.
Yeah, this right here we're using a 14 to 24, I believe.
Yeah, and it's a little too zoomed in. Like you see, you normally can see my guitar. It's just a mistake. I didn't zoom out enough. But it's just us hanging out. Just a quick show. But I'll take this lens off. But the idea, and I'll be totally transparent with you. So I traded in a D5600, a Nikon D5600.
Okay.
A
Canon
old Canon Rebel E1, which was my first camera that like actual proper camera that I ever bought. And then another A60, we traded a couple cameras.
Now we traded a camera and you traded that one in.
And that was an A6400, but that was your first A6400.
That was my first camera I ever bought.
And the guy noticed that on this, on like,
that's another big difference is there's no
viewfinder on
this. There's no viewfinder because this is built for
cinema. This is a fucking, you put a rig
it's
on
made
this.
For video.
Cinematography.
So when you're taking pictures, you like to put it up to your eye.
There's none of that.
You want to see it perfectly. This is built for video. You use
turn it around.
Screen,
the battery. I don't have a battery in it right now because it's literally brand new. You can put memory cards in, HDMI coming out of the sides. I use this straight out in a USB or a mini USB.
That's just the memory cards on the side.
Yeah, there's going to be a USB or something like that on the side that I'll run through this thing. So the idea is that this one, we'll stop talking about the camera at this point. This camera cost me 14. It was the body, like just the body was $1,500. Okay, so transparent, $1,500 is a fucking lot of cash.
But after 5 years of investment, it's something different,
Right. So I've bought three A6400s over the years, or two other A6400s. I also bought the Canon and things like that. But this is a business, right? And you got to think about it that way. Like if you're doing podcasting, make it a business. Make it part of, if you want this, I want Beth and I and you, we want these things to be a business.
Yeah, you grow them and eventually you want to do something with them. You don't just, like I said before, we do this for fun.
But it's also, I want to make money.
Like you want to like make yourself better. You want the product to look better for the viewer.
Yep.
You want it.
The bar is open. Like the podcast you and I do for fun.
100%.
The bar is open. Beth Naughty Reads, Just Greg. I want those to make money. Castro Files, another one.
Yeah, you want them to. You're making content for a reason.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, they're fun, but you want them to eventually there's a purpose at the end of the rainbow, right? There's we put in we grinded it for 5 years, and now we want to produce something out of it, right? And that's the ultimate goal.
To have these things
money out of it,
make money,
right?
Right.
You want to sponsor, you want whatever, like
Right.
you want something to show for your years of hard work.
Right.
And that's for anything, whether it's a podcast that you put out, you grind for 5 years.
If you put 5 years of your life into anything, hundreds of hours over those years.
And even if it is fun, which makes it easier to do, because like for example, my cooking show, I started it.
Oh, yeah.
What's it right now? We're in like April.
So we are April.
I'm about 5 months into it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I don't expect to make money off it anytime soon.
Throw out what's your channels?
I'll roll that in a second.
Okay.
So I do the cooking videos and they're fun and I do them for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy them. Every week I have to buy groceries. I have to plan a menu. I have to write a menu, which all takes time and money. I buy cameras. I already had cameras
Racks.
but I buy extra cameras. I buy a new light. I buy extra all kinds of stuff specifically for this one thing in the hopes that eventually it'll make money, right?
It'll pick up something.
It'll pick up. It'll take off. Now, your video is one out of 8,000 videos a day. There has to be some reason that yours catches on, right? Just like your podcast or our podcast. Yeah. There has to be some reason to catch on out of the 10,000 podcasts that are available, right?
And then it's uploaded every single day.
Exactly. There's some reason that somebody clicks on Baldy the Big Guy or The Bar's Open or The Motherfucking Foodie or whatever it might be, the content you're creating. There has to be some reason that somebody clicks on you to follow you and then to watch you every day or every other day or however often you post your content. It's and part of that is quality. So upgrading cameras, lights, audio, your editing, whatever, that definitely helps. And part of it is just like actually liking what you do. Like
you have to enjoying
it is huge because that transfers to camera. Like
that fucking.
If you're hating life,
I love doing this. I love talking to you.
Yeah, if I'm just like sitting here, like
listening to you talking. If I become like, I'm tired of Peter talking about cameras.
Yeah, and then that translates, and you know that as a listener of like, oh, well.
Sometimes I get really bored.
They fucking suck, and I'm not gonna fucking go. So then you listen to.
I'm just kidding.
And then you watch your analytics, and it's like, well, somebody listened to for where are we at?
7 seconds.
27 minutes, 34 seconds. So they say, oh, somebody listened for 27 minutes and 34 seconds, and then Greg clearly was bounced out. So I'm out. Whatever. But you see that stuff, and then you're like, okay, so you need to keep that attention, or you just need to, you need to.
Like right about now.
Enjoying it. Yeah, right about now, right? So you need to enjoy
the fucking podcast.
Because it clearly transferred over to camera.
All right.
And like everybody knows that.
Simple enough. Right? We're going to cut this thing to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We're going to close this up. Watch this. Thing you can buy. This is called a Zoom pod track.
That's a
P4, right? You can do.
And that is the easiest thing. I just want to say real quick.
This thing right here.
I want to interject for 1 second.
This is $100.
That is the easiest thing to do too, because there's the one thing you plug it into USB-C or batteries.
Yep.
You plug in your XLR cables to your microphones, and you can have a handheld microphone or one of these fancy microphone stands.
Yeah.
Press record, and you
can record directly to this. It uses four AAA or two double A's.
Yeah.
Off this costs a couple $100, right? And do that. All right, mic stands. I'm going to tell you a few things. Rode mic stands, cheap. Go on to Amazon
Facebook
Marketplace. I'm a gear geek. I literally have anytime I see the best shit come out, I buy it. I fucking hate that about myself.
Well, I do the same thing.
So these Ultimas, these fucking what are they called? OC White.
OC White.
You do not want to buy these. Do not start with these. These are fucking.
No, these are
like,
the 5 years down the road.
These are fucking like $400 a piece. Don't do that.
These are the mics. If you're like, I really like Joe Rogan. Was he used?
Yeah, and so literally that's what I googled. What does Joe Rogan do? And then these mics, you do not need MSB7 mics. There are a million other mics. Do not get this. There's tons of other quality mics. Work up to these. And what you do is, like what I've done, is you get other mics and you're like, oh, I'm going to use that for a different set. Like We don't have kids, so our whole upstairs in my house is multiple sets everywhere.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4 podcast sets upstairs.
4 podcast
and an
sets. And I have an office up in my
where
house.
you can edit, you can do everything else.
And you build out your tables. You get things one at a time, right? The last things I'm just going to mention, lighting, box lights.
Yeah,
cheap box lights.
We started talking about lights, so you can get lights,
tripods.
Use your overhead lights, but you can also just like Amazon, Walmart. You can get these box lights that are. I mean, you can't see them on camera, obviously, but they're just cheap square lights with a softbox on them.
They come with a tripod.
$40.
Yeah, $40, man.
On Amazon. I mean, there's.
Yeah. And if they die, you don't feel bad.
And these ones even are like bicolor, so I'm pretty sure you can even change these to light or dark or lighter cool. Like
one other thing that I need to mention, and this is kind of, this will get into a little bit, and maybe this is something. This is where. All right, he doesn't do podcasting for the most part. He does recording and editing and things like that. I do podcasting.
Yeah.
OBS, live streaming. Like live streaming a podcast is a different thing than just recording video.
Yeah, I mean, that's where his
significantly, right? So what I'm recording this on right now is on OBS. It's an open source platform, right? You can live stream from it. You can set your direction if you want to go from OBS. It's where you can do all your video editing. You can do a lot of things. Go out and learn OBS because it is the premier as far as it goes from an open source freeware.
It's also whatever uses it for, like for streaming video games.
That's absolutely it.
It's literally, you can use it for anything, and it's a good thing to use.
But
it's a great thing to learn.
Free.
Yeah,
it's fucking free. So you just update it every once in a while, and you fucking go from there.
Yep.
Other kind of quick things to think about is, what are you going to do post-production, right? And these are a few things that I always think about is post-production.
You're going to edit something, or you're going
to editing your video.
That's
where do you go? Where do you edit your video?
So depending on what I'm filming, right? So if I film on my phone, I will technically
film it anywhere. Like,
so let's just say if I film on my phone, I will primarily edit on my phone. So
me too. 100%,
I will an app like Adobe Rush, I believe they call it, or Adobe.
I have never used Adobe Rush.
It's Adobe something it's a quick phone film or a phone editor.
Is it a paid app?
I couldn't tell you for sure. I have so many phones on my
phone. Check it out sometime.
CapCut's another one that's free. CapCut's a free one for sure.
Okay.
I use CapCut a lot.
I use Filmora.
Filmora is another one.
It's a good one that I use.
Instagram just came out with one just the other day. I think it's called like Real something or other. It's another.
Oh shit, I haven't even seen that one.
It's another one by Meta.
Okay.
I haven't used it yet, but it's another.
Is it? You have to do it through, like, you download it to.
No, you download it through Apple.
Okay.
Apple. Cool. I'm sure it's probably available on Google as well. So it doesn't matter.
I need to find out.
I haven't used it yet, so I can't tell you what's good, bad, anything.
But it's free. Free shit. You're gonna give your content to the internet.
And then if you're using it if you're editing on a camera, if you're shooting on a camera like we are, and you want to edit it on a computer,
yes, that's the big one.
So this is where I use DaVinci Resolve. It has a free version. It's just DaVinci Resolve. Just Google like Blackmagic Studios DaVinci Resolve. You'll find it. Download the free version of DaVinci Resolve. There's two versions. There's the DaVinci, or there's the Resolve, and there's the Studio version.
Okay.
The Studio version you have to pay for. It's like $280
a year.
$80. No. One time.
Oh, fuck.
Which is very much worth it, because everything else you have to pay for
one
every
time
month.
they continue updates.
So Adobe is great, but you have to pay for it every month or every year.
See, that's my problem. I was just gonna say,
there's lots of programs you have to pay for every year, every month, every whatever.
I'll bring this up after, because I might
DaVinci Resolve is just a one-time payment. It's awesome.
Okay, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
That's DaVinci Resolve is what I use. It's good for. I mean, it takes over After Effects. It takes over all your Audition. It takes over everything else in DaVinci.
It takes out Audition.
It completely takes over all of Adobe's platforms.
Fuck.
And you can replace them all
I've been paying
DaVinci
$20 a month for Adobe Audition just to rip
all that.
So what I do when we do multiple videos a month, or a week rather, I then take the video, I import it to Adobe Audition, because I got that in my fucking notes right there.
Yeah.
right? Because I pay for Adobe Edition. It's like $20 a month or something like that. That's what? Fucking times 12. That's $200, $250.
$400 a year.
Just for that. That's just the audio. Just to be able to rip the audio off the video to then I can push it to Podbean. And by the way, if you're going to do multiple places or something like that and you want to do audio, you have to think about that because you need to have a subscription service to push to Podbean, or to push to Podbean, which pushes to iTunes and Spotify and iHeartRadio and all
Podbean
the
itself
others.
pushes everything else.
Yeah. So you need, that's another
Nobody
thing.
listens on Podbean except for that one guy.
Except for that.
And then that gets everything to
That
iTunes,
might have been a dude. But I didn't. So,
else.
Okay, real quick, going back to what the fuck is DaVinci Resolve, even the Pro can I rip the audio off of that?
I believe you can. I'll show you. I mean, I can't imagine why you couldn't rip that.
See, this is part of like.
Well, actually, I'm 100% positive you can. Not even in. Yeah.
I can go cancel that.
Yeah.
See? These are the parts of life.
So you're trying to figure out how to take your video they were recording right now.
Pull the audio
and make it into
the
audio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can 100% do that on DaVinci for free.
All right. With that, I hope you guys picked a few things up. Leave some comments and some messages down below.
Tell us what you're creating. I want to know what you're creating.
Yeah.
If you're making cooking videos, I want to know about it. If you have questions about it, let me know. I'm not a fucking expert.
We're going to find you real quick because very specifically, he does other things. He does more videoing and
so I do
editing.
a lot of like cooking content. I do comedy content. I do music video stuff. I do just vlog, lifestyle, BTS stuff in general. So
PTSD.
If you have questions, Peter McGuire or Peter_McGuire1 on Instagram, send me a message. I will look at it. I'll see it for sure. I'll give you whatever knowledge I can send over. So.
And my side is going to be more the podcasting side.
And he is the one that, if you have podcasting questions.
If you have podcasting questions, please reach out to me at fucking Greg_Lamontagne out on
Spell
Instagram.
Lamontagne, that's not big.
Lamontagne. Go from there.
There you go. Yeah.
And it's all in the fucking thing. All of our shit's
that's true.
in the thing below. Just click us and find us. If you have questions about podcasting or video editing and stuff like that, please reach out. He's done hundreds and hundreds of hours of videoing. I've done hundreds of hours, probably thousands of hours of podcasting. I know what works, what doesn't work, why. I can't tell you why shit breaks. Because like my last laptop just fucking died.
I mean, that's how you can
I fucking hate Dell. Anyway, with that, cheers, brother.
Cheers.
You guys, good luck in your podcasting and videoing efforts.
See you,
Cheers.
buddy.
Yeah.